So today we are discussing about the daily Hindu newspaper analysis of 26th March 2026. I have referred the Hindu newspaper, and I will explain in detail about the topics which are related for the UPSC and other competitive exams in this video, so that you cannot you don't have to refer the newspaper again. So let's come to the topics. There are some topics which are important for the UPSC or other competitive exams. The first such topic is QS university rankings. So this is called Quacquarelli Siemens. What does QS means? Quacquarelli Siemens World University Rankings. So the QS World Rankings were recently released for the year 2026. These rankings are really the QS World University Ranking is majorly like it ranks the world's educational institutions, higher educational institutions based on the subject. So they rank the higher educational institutions based on this subject. So in the latest rankings of 2026, 5 Indian states have shown remarkable progress compared to the last year, especially IIT Kharagpur. It has jumped to 23 rankings. In 2025, its rank was 45. You can see in the paper, its rank was 45, and in 2026, the rank has it has jumped to 22nd rank. So, which has shown as uh, remarkable progress in the compared to the previous edition. This IIT Kharagpur has been ranked under the subject engineering, mineral and mining subject. So, and another institution was IIT ISM Dhanbad has ranked 21 under engineering and under the subject engineering and engineering, mining and mineral subject. This has dropped down one rank. In 2025 edition, its rank was 20, which has in 2026 its rank has fell down to 21. And whereas IIM Ahmedabad was ranked 21 in two subjects. It was ranked 21 in two subjects. One is business management and the other is marketing. And also the JNU was ranked 26 in development studies subject. And there is another institution which was ranked, another institution called Saveta Institute of Medical and Technical Sciences, which was ranked 25 in dentistry. So these are the 5 institutions which showed remarkable progress in the rankings. And if you come to the other institutions which are also in top 100, they are IIT Delhi, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Bombay. Even though they are in top 100, but their rank has drastically reduced. If you see, IIT Delhi was ranked 36, IIT Bombay has ranked somewhere around 80, and it has ranked 42. They have seen a drastic reduction in ranks because their employer reputation, the score in the employer reputation has reduced compared to the academic reputation. What does this mean? The employer seeking the skills in the employees are not met in these institutions. Their academic reputation, that is academic skills, is very high compared to the employer required skills or the industry skills. You can say industry skills or the outdoor skills are drastically low compared to the academic skills. That's the reason these IIT Delhi, IIT Kanpur and IIT Bombay has seen a reduction in ranks. So this Quacquarelli Siemens World University ranks is based on 5 indicators. One is research and discovery, it has a weightage of 50%, and another is employability, which has a weightage of 20%, and another is global engagement, 15%. The fourth indicator is learning experience, which has in the weightage of 10%, and the fifth is sustainability, which has a weightage of 5%. So these are the 5 indicators based on which the World University Rankings is released for the 2026 year. So this is all about QS rankings. There may be a question in UPSC or any competitive examples regarding the uh, indicators and their weightage, or regarding the institutions which has seen a growth, which has seen a rise in rankings or seen a decrease or fall in rankings, and the reasons associated with the rise and fall of these corresponding institutions, whether they are rising their ranking or falling in the rankings. This is one of the main topic, and we move to the next topic. The next topic is nationally determined contributions. So India recently India recently released its nationally, it has updated its nationally determined contributions for the, like, it has to update by December 31st, but it has uh, it has delayed due to some reasons. So it has like released the latest its endeavors under Paris Agreement, which are mandated under Paris Agreement on 25th of March 2026. So what are NDCs? NDCs generally means nationally determined contributions. These are non-binding climate action plan to cut emissions and adapt to climate impacts. So these are generally the countries, uh, countries' policies to adapt to the climate changes and also to cut the emissions. It describes a country's natural policies or decisions toward reaching net zero emissions. So since there is a high rise in global warming, so the countries came together and decided to cut the emissions so that the average temperature rises are reduced. Are reduced. So pledges made under within NDC are considered as voluntary. Like whatever the NDCs pledged by the country are voluntary. That is, the country doesn't they don't face any legal penalty if they don't meet their goals. So it is like voluntary. It is not mandatory for the country to follow these to achieve these goals, but these are the country's policies that they need to achieve, that they are decided to achieve in the due course of time. So these are obligated under Paris Agreement. That is Paris Agreement. That is all the parties of the Paris Agreement has to propose their nationally determined contributions for the for cutting the climate emissions and climate emissions and to climate impacts, and also to make net zero emissions. So the Paris Agreement monitors the progress and report on any failures. So it is not mandatory for the countries to achieve the goal set under NDCs, but if they fail to achieve, they have to explain to the UNFCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, why they cannot achieve the targets and what is the problem, what are the issues they are facing, and this UNFCC monitors the NDCs of the respected countries. So India has updated its NDCs, so pledging that by 2035, India 60% of installed electric power capacity will be from non-fossil fuel sources. So 60% of installed power is from non-fossil fuel source. What does this mean? That suppose there is 100% electricity produced in India, 60%, 60% of the electricity installed capacity comes from non-fossil fuel sources. That means neither fossil fuels like coal, petroleum, natural gas, anything which are non-renewable energy sources uh, are not used for the production of this electricity. This is what that is mean. So earlier it was 50%. Earlier it was 50% to achieve 50% by 2030. This has updated to 2035 and increased to 60%. And the other is it also aims to reduce emission intensity by 47% of the GDP. 47% of the GDP at 2005 levels. Whatever there are emission levels at 2005, we have to reduce 47% of that emission levels of GDP by 2035. And the another target was to increase the carbon sink to 3.5 to 4 billion tons. Earlier it was 2.5 to 3 billion tons of CO2 equivalent through forest cover and recover by planting, afforestation, and everything. So the target has been revised to 3.5 to 4 billion tons by 2035. So these NDCs should have been submitted by India by 31st March, that is last year. But due to some reasons, except India and Argentina, all other parties have around 128 parties have submitted their NDCs to the UNFCC by 31st December 2025. But except India and Argentina, they haven't submitted their NDCs. India has recently announced their NDCs for the 2035 year. That is, by these NDCs has to be achieved by 2035 years. So what is the current situation in India? India has already achieved 52% of the installed capacity through non-fossil fuels. India set a target to achieve 50% by 2030. It is 2026 and we have already achieved 50%, that is we are at 52%. So we have reached our NDC which was set in 2021, that is 2030 target. So we are just short of 8%, that is to reach the 60% target by 2035. So we can achieve this way beyond 2035. That is one, at this point we are very good at it. And if we compare 25% of non-fossil fuel energy comes from renewable energy sources, that is solar, wind, nuclear, no, not nuclear, solar, wind, tidal, etc. kind of hydro, etc. kind of power sources. And also, India has created a carbon sink of 1.9 billion tons of CO2 equivalent. So the target earlier was 2.5 to 3 tons, 3 billion tons. So out of which 2.5 we have already achieved 1.9. So this target has been revised to 3.5 to 4 billion tons. We are way, like we will achieve this target by 2035. And India has also achieved the emissions intensity of 36%. So we have achieved 36%. Our target was 47% by 20. We have achieved this 36% by 2020 only. So our target of 47% by 2035 is easily achievable. So the only thing is forest and tree cover. If you see here, 24.6% of India's geographical area of 2021 is under forest and tree cover. But our national policy goal was 33%. So we are yet to achieve this target. It's been long that we are setting the targets which we are not able to achieve. If we achieve the target of 33%, which was set in our national policy, then we can easily achieve the 47% way beyond 2035, way ahead of 2035. The carbon, reducing the emissions of emission intensity of CO2 equivalent. So that's the topic regarding this. So the question may come as regarding the asking of the new updated indices of India that are 60% of installed electric power capacity from non-fossil fuels and to 3.5 to 4 billion tons of CO2 equivalent and of carbon sink, and also 47% of reduction in emission intensity of GDP by 2035. These are the three things. These are the three indices that have been updated by the Indian government. So the next important topic was UDAN scheme has been revamped. What does mean with UDAN scheme? UDAN means Ude Desh Ki Aam Nagarik. What does this mean? That means it aims to achieve everyone, like Aam Nagarik, the common people of India has to fly in flights. That's what's the main aim of this scheme. So it has been revamped. This is sixth time. You can say UDAN 6.0 as the scheme. So it was first launched in 2016 under National Civil Aviation Policy, which aims to enhance regional air connectivity and make air travel affordable for the common citizens. That's what common citizen means, Aam Nagarik. So the main aim of it was to connect the unconnected areas of the country with the unconnected areas of the country, and also make the air travel affordable to the Nagarik people. So it seeks to connect unserved and underserved airports across the country through viability gap funding. So whatever the funding that has been uh, that has been not met by the commercial flight operators, this is provided through the VGF, and airports are developed at the unserved and underserved areas of the country. So center has extended the subsidy period for airlines on select tier 2 and tier 3 routes from 3 to 5 years. Earlier the subsidy was for 3 years. Now this has been extended to 5 years. This is one point important. After a large share of those routes fell into disuse, because these regions are unserved. That is, these areas are not well populated. You can say, or less population. These areas where there is less population, there is less chances of using the air travel. That's the reason they went into disuse. So Union Cabinet approved the revamped scheme with a budget outlay of 28,000. So in 2026 budget, 28,840 crores has been allocated to the UDAN scheme. Out of this 28,840 crores, 10,043 crores as is used as a, like, it is set aside as a subsidy to support airlines flying on regional routes over the next 2 years. Like is like small regional routes for those airlines which are flying on the small regional routes. For them, this 10,043 crores has been set aside so that these routes doesn't fall into disuse. So, according to the data released by MCA, Ministry of Civil Aviation, 15 out of 95 airports which have been revamped, like revived since 2017, has become disuse. Like they fallen into disuse. The 15 airports which have been revived, like they went to disuse. The government has revived those airports and made some, like revived those airports, but still they again fell into disuse. And 327 routes have been discontinued. Like out of there are 688 routes which have been approved recently. So six sixty. This is 663 routes launched under the UDAN since 2017, out of which 372, 327 routes have been discontinued. So this is about UDAN scheme. So they will ask you about the launching year of this scheme, that is 2016. Under which ministry? Ministry of Civil Aviation. Under which policy? National Civil Aviation Policy. How many times it has been revamped? With this, it has been revamped 6 times. If you are preparing for some state examples, they might even ask you the budget allocations. So the budget allocations is 28,840 CR, and out of which 10,000 CR has been set aside. They might even ask you the number of airports that have been revived but still fell into disuse. That is 15, and the number of routes that have been like discontinued are 327. So this is about all about the UDAN scheme. Then this is an important topic regarding the national song Vande Mataram. So recently, Ministry of Home Affairs has released a guidelines regarding the playing of national song. It's not national anthem; it's national song. So, Ministry of issued a new guidelines which require official events to display the complete 6 stanzas. It was 3 minutes 15 seconds. This length song stands stanzas of Vande Mataram. So in that is India's national song for its 150th anniversary celebration in 2026, which was first published by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee in 1875. So 1875 to 2025, it has completed 150 years of its publication. So the Ministry of Home Affairs has released a guidelines that national song, the Vande Mataram, has to be displayed and played complete before the national anthem. So it has to play national song has to play before national anthem. That's what the guidelines says. So where it has to be played? What are the like areas it has to be played? The guidelines it applicable to all official and public events where president attends. The president of India attends all official and public events that take place throughout the country. Also, school assemblies, national celebrations, which include Republic Day and Independence Day. So these are public events. Second one is official events of government. Third is school assemblies, and fourth is national celebrations. These public events is like president attends it. When the president attends it, they have to play the national song. So these four are included, and what is not included? That is theaters. Second one is any documentaries playing. Third is non-official media. So these three places, these guidelines are not applicable. So regarding the national song, the constitution doesn't speak anything about the national song. The national song itself is not mentioned in the constitution, but there is a mention of national anthem under Article 51. Respect has to be given when the national anthem and to the national anthem and national flag. The requirement to sing the national song is not mandatory. That means when the song is played, you are not compulsated to sing the national song as like national anthem. Whereas when the national anthem is played, you have to stand and respect the national anthem. If you are not respecting the national anthem, you are being punished or penalized when you don't respect the national anthem. So what happens to this national song? Then like when the national song is played, if you don't sing the national song, there is no provision that you can be penalized or adverse action will be taken against you for not singing the national anthem. So the guidelines does not mention any penal action or action like penalty for not singing the song. So this is what has been a dispute in the uh, in today's newspaper, where Supreme Court has clearly rejected the plea petition regarding the national anthem, that the petitioner has filed that national song should not be made compulsory in the not made playing of national anthem should not be made compulsory in all events. So if we don't respect the national anthem, we might get penalized, or that's what the issue has been filed. The issue has been filed in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court rejected, saying that there are no provisions. It is not mandatory for someone to sing the national song, and there are no provisions in the guidelines which says that the penal actions or penalty would be adverse actions would be taken against those person who doesn't sing the national song. So these are the two rules. These are the two things that Supreme Court said and has rejected the plea. So there is another topic regarding the inflation targeting. So government of India. So inflation targeting has done by RBI. Generally, inflation target has been RBI, but this task was assigned to RBI by government. So the government of India has asked the RBI to go with the same inflation targeting earlier of 4%. So the RBI targets the retail inflation, checks the retail inflation should be at 4% with upper tolerance of 2%. So this would be 2% to 6% bandwidth. So the RBI checks whether the retail inflation is within this 2 to 6% bandwidth or not. If there is increase above, if there is an increase in the inflation above 6%, then RBI need to take measures and give an explanation why it has went above 6%. If it comes down 2%, then RBI has to take measures by to control the inflation. So this is been second time. So the inflation targeting framework was introduced in 2016 through Monetary Policy Committee. So in 2016, a Monetary Policy Committee was given the task of monitoring the retail inflation at 4% for 5 years. So after every 5 years, this target, the 4% target, this target has to be revised. So in 2021, Government of India did not revise the target, and it kept the target at 4% till 2026, and now in 2026 the same target was given to RBI till 2031. So this so RBI has to make sure that the retail inflation does not breach the bandwidth of 2 to 6%. So MPC, this monetary policy committee was formed based on the Urjit Patel committee in 2014. So they might ask you the target inflation rate. So it is 4% plus or minus 2%. So the bandwidth is 2 to 6%. Who checks this? who checks this? Uh, who who works on this target inflation targeting is RBI. Under RBI, there is a committee called Monetary Policy Committee which monitors this inflation targeting. But the task was assigned to RBI. Who assigned this task? This task was assigned by Government of India. So, how many years the inflation targeting inflation target is revised? Every 5 years. Every 5 years, this target will be revised. So, this is about the Monetary Policy Committee. Thanks. By this, we come to the end of the video. Please like, subscribe, and share.